Boom. Boom. Testing, testing. There is like a 10-second delay. I wonder if it's supposed to be like that. It's more than 10 seconds.
When you make your coffee, would you make me one?
Well, a normal one.
And my one.
Alright.
I'm trying to get to this sec. I'm just gonna rewash. So I feel like I haven't had a proper wash for an age.
Mm-hmm. I don't like the keyboard layout. Da, 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 da. Versus mode. What the bloody hell is he on about now?
Dr. Steve Sugarroot here. The number one question that I get about my new money documentary is, okay, so how do I take advantage of this huge opportunity? Well, there's one.
Remember the live still going?
What?
Remember the live still going?
Okay.
One is just testing.
Okay.
Trying to see if I can get the latency right.
Okay. Alright.
Still saying the same thing. Yeah, still saying the same thing. We can try that.
I swear to God, I would lose my head if he wasn't screwed on.
Sharon Osbourne criticised for forcing employee into house fire before sacking him for not laughing. That's funny. Katie Joy demands multiple apologies from Leslie Bass after Steve quit YouTube beef.
Good luck with that, mate.
Yeah.
Why do women at menopause gain more belly fat?
All of a sudden it's coming to my ab area and
It was just the thickness. I have.
Right, so let's get into some things. So as of late, you know, Leslie did a live video basically saying that something about how Steve was demanding a screenshot from her of the actual
Amzie Beloved
complaints
is
on
live.
YouTube, and that he gave her a timeline to do it and said that if she didn't have it into him by a certain time, he was washing his hands of it. And I mean, this is the reason why. Because this shit is long and drawn out, and it's become a war of memes and who can piss somebody off better than the next person. I mean, when Unirock came into it, it became extremely childish. It became all about jokes and all about him getting views. Honestly, if he's not talking about Steve, Leslie, and Katie, his videos get like 200 and 300 and 400 views. So
Yeah.
I can see why he wants to
Just a
keep the
couple,
fight on,
'cause
because
I've got
his
6 at the
YouTube
moment.
check has grown by probably $100, and he's over there about to pass out and he can't take it and he's thinking he made it. That is the reason why Unirock wants to keep this shit going on. So I understand why other parties kind of want to bow out, and I understand why Leslie in particular wants to get back to her original content that was making her about
Terry
$1,500 a month,
Godsey.
because this beef shit is not where it's at for her.
I
She's
was
not been
hoping
able
to
stream
catch
and
you
have
live
any kind
again.
of
Have a
income.
great day, Joe.
So I can see, like, come
And
on,
then
y'all, we're
Sharon
dragging it at
Grove
this
said,
point.
"Hey,
Let
Joe."
it go.
Hey.
So, you know, apparently Leslie's like, you know, she's going to come back in February and do her content and just let all this shit go, which is her best bet career-wise, because honestly, who wants to just keep getting reported and keep getting trolled and keep getting talked about? And literally, Leslie didn't do
Amzie's
shit.
live.
So I feel like it is in her best interest, yes, to completely bow out and say, I don't want nothing to do with you, Katie. I don't want nothing to do with you, Unirock. I don't know what, want nothing to do with this situation, period.
Yeah,
I feel like that is her best
Dreadnought
bet.
style.
Not only that,
Still,
but
this is the one you were
you
thinking
know,
of.
I really felt bad when she
Dragnet
came on
Stilvus.
YouTube and
That's it, yeah.
explained why she wanted to distance herself from Katie.
She's on
And she
here somewhere,
explained that
I
it
just
just
saw her.
wasn't fun anymore because so many
There it
people
is.
disliked Katie that people were grouping them together and talking shit about both of them. So I could
I do
understand
wonder if they can hear
why
it.
she wanted to distance herself in the first place, and Katie didn't like that because Katie's jealous because Leslie is beautiful and Leslie was getting more views than her before Amber Portwood. So she would do anything to try to tear Leslie down, and it's crazy that people don't see that it's just pure jealousy. Like, come on now, look at Leslie and look at Crystal Ball.
Okay,
Not even
good
talking
morning,
about looks.
Joe and
I'm
Jackal.
talking about entire package,
morning,
like personality,
peeps.
like that
It's
country accent, is
Corey
amazing. Like
and
everything,
this
like it's just no comparison. So I
fudge.
understand
I
why
didn't say it.
Katie's jealous.
Hi, Cole.
So she jumps on
Being a
to
savage,
her
being a
Instagram
savage,
today,
being a
and thank God wasn't nobody fucking feeling
Good
her,
morning.
and said, "This is what I just texted Leslie," and she
Fine.
says, "You
I'm not
committed
here.
right by apologizing to
I'm
me
just
for
playing with
accusing me
connections.
of taking your channel down. You need to apologize to the community for the fraudulent fundraiser. My son deserves an apology for how you used him as a tool to take me down. You got sucked into some shit. I warned you. The community isn't going to forget until you own up to your role and your behavior." Okay. So I want to remind everybody that this quote-unquote fraudulent fundraiser that raised money for 6 kids, nobody has asked for their money back. Nobody's really talking
Good
shit
morning,
but
Corey.
trolls and
Corey,
people
Corey.
who support Katie. Like, I
Cole.
Cool.
Cole.
Yeah, I don't know why I just always called her
thinking
that.
it's okay to
Katie
give
Joy
people
demands multiple
y'all
apologies
have
from
been
Leslie
dragging
Bass
this whole
after Steve
fraudulent
quits
fundraiser,
YouTube
right?
beef.
It's just
Dun 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 dun.
Then let somebody
Katie
report,
Joy,
okay?
kiss my
Let somebody
fat
ask for
ass.
their money back. Nothing has
Vicky
happened,
knew.
so let the shit go
I'm
and
just
let
catching
the
up
girl
this
be.
morning.
I don't see
Hi,
the
Vic.
point in a grown-ass man like Unirock strategically over and over again talking shit about Leslie. To try to
Nobody
get her
can
to
say my
respond.
last name.
I don't understand that. Once y'all get
Joe
Katie
calls
riled
me
up, she doesn't
Cole,
say shit when she's down,
and that's
but
who
once
I
y'all get her riled
Yeah,
up and she
that's
sees
what
that
I
she's
call
got up
her.
under somebody's skin, she goes for the gusto. She's in the comment
I
section
have got a
calling
cute
Leslie
frame
a
less
thief
than that. What the
and a
hell
liar,
is going on
and a
about?
con artist, and she talked about my son. Don't forget, she talked about my son. Don't forget. This song is as old as it gets. Like, I literally can't take it. And then we jump over to Unirock bullying Steve for wanting out of this shit. And honestly, when you lose all people who are like in your game of chess, like when people start backing out because they think they can't take the heat and they might actually want to apologize, okay, I might back out too, because I'm like, y'all really about to let this bitch win? Y'all really about to let whatever win? All he's doing is
It's
fighting
alright,
the
Cole.
memes, and
We'll
y'all
just
really
make
about
up
to let
names
him
for
win.
you.
Well, I said what I said. I feel how I feel.
Tell him to bugger off,
So
Cole.
it would, be in Leslie's best interest.
Makes this even worse is the fact that he's out here
I'll
screaming
put
that
this one on because
YouTube,
this
like,
one's
it's
quite
a victim
interesting to
blame.
watch.
Oh, I'm a victim. Everybody owes me. Everybody
You'll all
owes
like
me.
this one.
YouTube is now he's a victim of YouTube. YouTube giving my channel, but
Let me just move
Steve,
myself.
did you read this? Did your lawyers
can
not
see the
show you this
text.
order? Did they not tell you, hey, the judge said this is bullshit. We need to give him more. Like, think about it, you know what I'm saying? It's so, but again, this is what you get when you get somebody who's getting dollar lobster rolls and just lying on the internet to people. It's kind of you get what you pay for, right?
Yeah, that's true. So we got another question. With the fact that Steve apparently claims he has court orders that he doesn't have harm his case, if he in fact does present
Corey, sweet on down.
present. I read that as present.
Is that for me making up names?
Present
Never
reasonable
want me to
evidence
make
for
up
his
names.
claims after the fact.
Hold on, read that one more time.
Okay, yeah, I had to
I have no
pause
tact.
there in between. Had a somebody moment. With the fact that Steve apparently claims he has court orders that he doesn't
There's
have
gonna be a lot
harmed
of
his
noise in a
case,
minute.
if he in fact does present reasonable evidence for his claims after the fact.
One required
Well,
to blow dry one's
Well,
hair.
I don't
One's
think
used
I don't
in
think.
hair
Well,
dryers.
I don't know if that's going to hurt his case because most when
With your
hopefully
second
whenever
name,
this
it's
is
best
finished,
that
they're
I
not going to
don't
ask
make up
him, did you
names
ever
for
tell
you,
people? Like,
Corey.
that's just not a
Cool.
question I think is going to come up. But
She's
what I
lovely.
do think it hurts is the
I know,
fact
but
that
with a
he's been
name
telling,
like that,
for
it's
instance,
quite easy
he
to,
does. He has one court
Look,
order.
we
One
can
court
talk
order
about our
says
last name. Our
What?
last name is
Vitamin D
Essentially,
deficiency. There's
Kyle
now wrong with
is,
vitamin D deficiency.
Kyle didn't show up, and that the court should end the case based on the
I see
default
now.
judgment. That's the first order he has. Now he has the second
Yeah,
order by the
cameras
court
on, they can't see
saying
you, though.
you haven't given us
Well, they would do
sufficient
if you come
evidence
over here. You don't
to
even
show
know
us
the
that we should order this guy to pay anything.
I'm just
And
doing
until you
makeup
do,
and hair. Well, I'm about to do
we're
my
not
hair, so you're gonna
giving you
roll in a
anything.
hair dryer.
So those
go
are the
in.
2 orders that he has, and you can go look it up on the North
I
Carolina
can't see any
Public
other
Access
text 'cause I'm not
website
close
and
enough.
look up
No,
the actual order. You'll see 2 orders.
No, I can't see our
And
text.
the first
Oh, I
order
see.
is for the
I've got
order
my
to
glasses.
enter
Well,
the
they're not
default
saying
judgment, and now
anything,
he's
just
looking for the
watching
order
me
to
message.
collect on it. And
He's
he's
trying to
in
fix
that
it
order,
for
the
when I
judge
go
will
live
not
a bit
sign
later, guys,
because
so
he
it
does
shouldn't
not
cut
have
off.
sufficient evidence.
Oh yeah, this
Well,
is
here,
Dragnet.
it looks
He's
like in this last
amazing.
tweet, can any
Can you
YouTuber who
copy
can
the
actually
link and
get
put it
an
into
actual
the chat?
person help me get
And
my
then go and
freaking
find
YouTube channel
Nate.
back? I have a legal court
And put
order
that link
awarding
in
me
as well.
the
And
non
what's it
sequitur
called?
show
Harvey
YouTube, which was
freaking
taken under
Quinn.
fraudulent
Maybe Joe
conversion.
wants to
So
call me
here
and
he's
go,
claiming that he has the
I
live
love you,
document.
Cole.
Well,
But
well,
he doesn't.
well,
This
let's
is
test
Dragnet,
that
and Carl's
claim
gonna
right now.
put,
So let's pull up the court order that was issued today and
Nate
see.
Nate
Does
is
he
the
have a
bottom
court
one
order?
with the
Give
little
him back on
dreads.
YouTube channel?
That's Nate there. He's really, really
Accordingly,
nice.
at this time, the court defers
He's very
ruling on
like
motion.
Nate Brody. Brody,
And for what reason?
Just while you're messing, then you can have go and have a nose. But he's got some really good insight, guys.
And not just that, he's also, he used to be on the streets years and years ago, apparently.
Like dealing drugs.
Dealing
He's like
drugs and
13.
in the hood and all that. And then he
He made something.
got himself out of it, became a lawyer or something now.
Yeah, a lawyer.
And he's quite fun to listen to be fair.
Yeah, he is. Like
It's
go and have a
even worse is
nosy
the
at
fact
him,
that
go and sub to
He's out
him,
here screaming
guys.
that YouTube, that it's the victim play. Oh, I'm a victim. Everybody owes me. Everybody
Guys,
owes me.
I've set up
You know,
a new
YouTube
Twitter
is now
account.
he's the victim
It's
of
called
YouTube.
Sipping
YouTube
Tea
gives you
with
my
Me
channel.
_Joe.
Steve,
If
did
you
you read this? Did your lawyers not
got
show you this
Twitter,
order? Did they
come
not
and
tell you,
join
hey, the
me.
judge said
I will
this is
start
bullshit.
putting
We
more
need to give him
content
more.
up
Like,
and
think about, what
I'm
I'm
gonna
saying?
do some Kardashian
It's
stuff
so, but again,
momentarily
this is
once
what
I'm
you get
all
when you get somebody
sorted. I'm
getting
drinking
dollar
coffee and
lobster
doing
rolls
my
and just
hair.
lying on the internet to people. It's kind
I
of
mean,
It's Sipping Tea with Me
Yeah,
_
it's true.
Joe.
So we got another question. With the fact
Come
that
give
Steve
me
apparently
a follow.
claims he has court orders
I literally
that
just
he
set it up
doesn't
this morning,
have
guys.
harm his case, if he in fact does present reasonable
I'm
present.
gonna
I read that
put
as
it on my
present
head.
instead of present. present
Noise
reasonable
will be
evidence for his
coming.
claims after the fact.
Sorry guys, I need to blow dry my
Hold on,
hair.
read that one more time.
Okay, yeah, I had to pause there in between. Had a somebody moment. With the fact that Steve
I don't
apparently
blow dry my hair,
claims
it's
he
gonna
has
go into
court
a
orders
big
that he
curly
doesn't
mess.
have harmed his case if he in fact does present reasonable evidence for his claims after the fact.
Look, I don't think it's, I don't think it's, look, I don't think it's, hopefully whenever this is going to, they're not going to ask them to be able to tell people, like, that's just not a question I think is going to come up. But what I do think it hurts is the fact that he's been telling persons, he does say he has one quarter that sent to him. How is,
Not Steve that killed it by messing around.
in the case facing the That's the first order. Now we have the second order by the court saying you haven't given us sufficient evidence to show us that we should order this guy to succeed. And until you do, you're not giving me peace. So those are the 2 orders that we have. And you can go look it up on the North Carolina Public Access website and look up the actual order. You'll see 2 orders. And the first order is for the order to enter the default judgment, and now he's looking for the order to collect on it. And in that order, the judge will not sign it because it does not have sufficient evidence.
But here, it looks like in this last tweet, because any YouTuber who can actually get an actual person help me get my freaking YouTube channel back. I have a legal court order awarding me the non-sequitur show YouTube, which is taken on the fraudulent conversion. So here he's claiming that he has the live document.
Let's put that claim right now. So let's pull up the court order that was issued today and see. Does he have a court order giving him back his YouTube channel?
Accordingly, at this time, the court defers ruling on motion.
And what reason?
Let's say, what did they say earlier?
New hair dryer is bloody
The court
powerful,
concludes
man.
that any default judgment
Give
it may
time to
enter
my
should
hair
include the
straight up.
findings of facts which are both uncontested by reason of defendant's failure to
He's
respond
good.
and supported by adequate
Question
competent
mark.
evidence. Accordingly, the
Is
court
that he's
defers
good?
any
Question mark.
consideration of entry of the
Little
default
moon.
judgment until such time as
Yeah, I
plaintiff
like
has submitted
Nate.
appropriate and
You
sufficient
invite
evidence
Nate
supporting the
Yeah,
facts
I've got it up here,
Full
you
stop.
see, so.
And then the
I
next
like
sentence
Nate.
is them telling them
Be
how
careful
to do
of doing too
So,
much of Nate's
it.
stuff.
If Steve,
Why?
so
Because you're not
both of
allowed
these
to
things
make
can't be
commentary.
right.
But I am commentary.
Either this is
I
wrong
am talking.
or
He can
Steve's
literally- I
tweet
don't
is
think
wrong,
he
right? They
would
both can't be right, right?
Strike me because he's not
Right?
that type.
Yeah, but
Unless,
this
unless
isn't
everyone,
Nate,
else,
this
unless
is,
everyone else in the world is fucking
the
stupid,
Dragnet.
Oh, I don't
and
know
Steve
that,
is right.
but I
Like,
don't
like
think
Steve
he
knows
would.
more than the
Because
No,
court.
because
What
I'm
Steve
just
What Steve
showing
puts on
Yeah.
bits
Twitter
of it. I'm not
I'm
showing.
is of higher
Like,
quality,
I
I
go back
guess,
to photo my
than
hair.
what actual legal professionals see. Maybe that's
Maybe it is. I don't know. It's funny because, they this is something that's easy to get. It's not, the judge signs the order. It's simple. But here, they're not, not making it happen. They just won't do it. And it's because it's not good. I feel bad for the fans because he's told all these fans he's won. Now telling people that YouTube is that, but
Okay.
we're going to open this up, by the way, folks. If folks want to come in and give some grief, I welcome it. I want all the smoke, by the way. Every last person in this motherfucker.
just bring it in. Let's walk about this.
Just so, watch this, folks. Watch this.
Oh my God, this
Every
is
time I
like-
fucking
like
do this,
not even
nobody
getting
wants it.
blow
So
through my hair
we're gonna
straight.
see if people grow some nuts today, because I'm
No
ready.
one
I
knows
want
if Carl
this
has
shit.
money.
Yeah,
evidence
yeah,
of
please,
evidence
come in-
is
come in
not
and tell us where we're
evidence of
wrong.
evidence.
Because Steve has an actual lawyer following this, correct? Like this
Kyle.
is Steve
Yeah.
didn't type this up. An actual
This is
lawyer.
all to do
He
with
has,
On the bottom,
non-sequitur.
it should have a signature on the bottom.
Sorry about the hairdryer, guys, but I have to dry my hair.
You see what there's the StreamYard. I've never heard of StreamYard.
Well, this is the order. The judge.
Yeah, that's the order from the judge. You have the last filing, the corrected one that they
Yeah,
sent
StreamYard.
before this.
You see what
So Peter Wentz says Cheshire's legal advice is now Steve's on the hoe. Look, if any conversation, let me know. I've yet to hear it. The group says Gilligan needs to call the professor for help now. Maybe. So the link is out there, folks. The link is out there if you want to come in and chat. Again, I want all the smoke. And if you don't understand what that means, Nate can let you know. I said it first on the YouTube. I created that phrase.
So you see my screen, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
my life,
these are the documents. I'm going to put them in order so everybody can see them. So starting with number 1. So this was the court's assignment order. Then you see this is Steve's complaint. Now, as you can see, you see proposed order. This is what the lawyer writes this up, right?
I think all
Proposed
this
order,
is
the first proposed order.
Probably what?
No,
Is going to.
I was commenting.
So anyway, let me go back. So this proposed order is written by Steve's attorney, and he urged the reason. This is a gift to the court that is proposed interest of this. This is the motion for it, and then you have the order. You'll see down here on December October 2nd.
I didn't get most of this, to be fair.
Court signed it. And that order was just, this order is literally just them filling out this, the judge saying, okay, this is, you got a default judgment
So
because
this
the
is
person
actually
didn't
the
show up,
court
right?
case
That's what this is
The
for.
joys of being in America,
So
by
now,
the things is you can
you
access all
got to
these
do
things.
the one for damages. So Steve, after this order by the judge, number 9, first we put in the motion for entry of a default judgment, and then they put in proposed orders. So this is what they were asking for.
That was nice.
So there are two of them.
Like 30
The first one
seconds
doesn't seem it was
out.
October 9th. It doesn't seem like
Annoying.
it was rejected. And this one, I think it's.
But they probably
it's
do
a
that on
Word document.
purpose so
Yeah. I
that
had to pull it up. But anyway, so these are 2 Word documents.
You don't
Proposed orders for the judge to
overrun the
sign.
network.
He didn't sign any one of those, but then he puts this last order. So Steve has 2 orders. He has the order from number 9 saying that Kyle didn't show up. Here's the order. And then he has this number 13, the second order that he has, the order denying him the relief because he hadn't pled sufficient evidence. So that's all he has. He has those 2 orders. One saying that Kyle didn't show up, you get a default judgment, and the second order saying you haven't pled sufficient facts to get relief. And until you do, we're not going to sign this until you actually do.
So it's in limbo right now until Steve actually provides something, I guess, to his legal advisor to give to the court so that the court finds it sufficient enough to move forward.
And the court in that filing tells you, it says, well,
So
listen,
this is
hint,
Dragnor
hint, this is kind of what you
and
need
Nick
to do.
Brody basically
Verified
talking about
claim,
Steve.
documentary evidence. Give us something that shows this guy owes you the money. You know, we don't, because the court just didn't take your word for it. You know,
They got some good
Right.
insight.
Well, I think
you
that
don't want anything like that.
I think the issue is that Steve has gotten so wrapped up in people around him just like believing whatever he says that he thinks that extends to the real world. And in reality, folks, I hate to
Well,
break
it's
it
good
to
to
you.
get,
Some
different
folks aren't up
perceptions
Steve's
from
ass.
people.
Some folks aren't up
Yeah,
Kyle's
and
ass.
I
Some
did
folks
like
just
share
rely on actual
Nate's
evidence.
last
Some
night
people
on
can
Facebook
be
and said, like, you know, I
objective
don't agree with
about
everything he says.
things. It's
But
it's
if we all
amazing.
agreed,
I
it'd be a
know.
really, really
I
boring
know.
world,
But if there's an issue with
you know?
this order that we see from the judge, I would love people to come in and chat because just hearing the case against Kyle, people said this is fucking stupid from a personal opinion, but also what evidence have you actually seen other than these guys had a verbal agreement to some degree that should have been in writing, that there was no clear sphere of control over who had what, and it's conflicting at certain points because one of the parties offers conflicting narratives about what the agreement even was, and even with video conflicting. So it's a complete and utter mess, right? If you wanted to bury Kyle, and so you know what, Kyle just a scumbag, awesome, you won the moral victory over somebody you already knew was a felon before you got to deal with him. But there's nothing that's actually here that's going to push this forward, and just like other people said before, it's insufficient. There hasn't really been much of anything, right? Because the fact that there's a court order here from the judge saying that you haven't done your homework demonstrates this a certain level of incompetence. Like, and they said, like, he's made this mistake before too, but this shouldn't happen, right? If you are on your game, if you are on the ball, this sort of thing shouldn't happen. You should make sure that you have evidence behind your claims.
Thomas Rutgers, he's saying that we're defaming people now. Let me see that.
You can be as upset as you want to. That's fine.
Hold on. But just so clear, I haven't accused their lawyers. I said I've made the same mistake.
Basically, what it is
if they're incompetent, I'm incompetent. I haven't said they're
Nate Brody is stating
I
understand, going through the court
I understand
Steve
Vlad can say that, but
put up for the non-set, and he's saying that it's not confirmed, or there's no actual kind of court
it happens. But I think the problem here is that
because
the
nothing's
fact that
been
Steve is going around saying that he won, and that YouTube should
What's
give him
the
the channel.
chat going to be about this morning? Who knows?
Presumptuous at best.
You never know.
I never know. I'm not. I avoid these chats. I avoid all of this.
What's going on, Houseboy?
Yeah, it's totally not
Nate
me.
is
No,
friends with
I'm
Kyle.
not here to
Yes,
give you guys
the
shit or
lawyer
anything.
for
I tried to stay
I
away.
don't think he's
between
mates with
the
Kyle. If you go
two
back
sides.
and watch one of his
I was just more or
streams,
less
he
hoping
actually
to ask
sticks
some
up for
questions other
Steve
than
and actually
text
says he
and
deserves
maybe get some
to be
clarification.
paid. Yeah.
If
If you could go and have a look, I think it's called.
Because I'm making fun of this whole this
I think
side,
it's about
that
2
side.
weeks ago, 3
To me,
weeks
it's
ago, maybe.
hilarious. I love it. Every fucking.
I think
segment
they
is
all
like,
kind of, I think he,
but
I mean,
people,
everyone
like,
is
some folks are
biased in
actually
my
learning
mind
legal
in some
stuff,
fashion. We all have that
and
kind
it's
of
actually pretty
logic
interesting.
that we
But
go
please,
with.
Also, go ahead.
Oh yeah,
It
I
does
found it
keep
interesting
spinning
too,
and
and I think
freezing.
most people
But
assume
it's
that it
staying
would go
going better than
sort
it
of this
was.
way, where like Kyle probably wouldn't be able to put up any
So that's
defense.
something.
But what I was questioning is, do you guys think he's actually like that the lawyer has actually presented anything? Because I mean, we all know Steve has presented the idea that him and his lawyer have all documents or being able to document that Kyle agreed to such and such, both in writing and verbal agreements. And I'm just wondering if I mean, it's going to be complete speculation, but if maybe that has
The
been
R
presented,
word.
but it's
What did I say?
been dismissed, or would that be stated in the document that
The
the
R
evidence
word.
presented
What's the R
wouldn't
word?
be reasonable enough
I didn't
and
say the R
thus
word.
dismissed?
Well, the case it wouldn't be dismissed as of yet because effectively
KT
Steve has
Kaiser,
won the
don't say
lawsuit.
the R word,
But
please.
what he hasn't done is
he say
sufficiently
it?
shown evidence on why
Didn't say
he
the R
should get
word.
what he's
I don't
asking.
listen to him.
And that's what the court is saying. The court is saying, okay,
Oh,
you
I
won
see,
because
is
this
it?
guy hasn't shown up.
I
But
can't
now,
hear what they're saying
so in
because
other-
the
they're not
sound's
gonna
off,
dismiss
to
the
be
case because
fair.
he's already won the case.
I'm just
But they're
messing
just
with
saying
the
it's not
settings.
proof to us. You are owed what you said you were owed. You have to either prove it by a verified
I am
complaint,
just messing
an
with the
affidavit signed under
settings
penalty of
in the
perjury,
vain hope that
some
it works
documentary evidence.
later.
The court kind of lays that out. So it's saying that, hey, you've won, but we can't give you anything until you sufficiently tell us what happened.
Someone did.
What evidence?
It wasn't me, Katie. I wouldn't say
to be able
that.
to recover.
Not sure what the R word was.
Sorry if I wasn't
wouldn't
clear.
say it
I was
anyway.
more talking specifically, and so
I don't
you remember
generally
the video
insult
where
people. I try and
they
avoid it.
basically aired the dirty laundry, the hour and a half or
I think
2 hour
this is
long
just
video
basically
where
their
Kyle actually
perspective of
admitted,
going
like
back
on
and
video,
forth
that yes,
of
he
what's
agreed
been
to
said,
50-50
what's
in
been
perpetuity
done
on
in
video.
the past and all that
I
type
was
of thing.
wondering more if that could have
But I'm
been
going to be turning
presented,
this off in a
but
sec
not
anyway.
understood
I was
to
only
be
coming on to try and
adequate
see if I could get
evidence
it to be more
and have that
consistent.
evidence
because
that
we're
these
having
evidence
kept
dismissed, or
failing,
would that be
guys.
in the court documents
Wouldn't
themselves?
let us
Well,
put it on.
I don't know what they've presented.
I think
but
everyone is
from
biased.
what's it called? From the website.
Leanne,
When you go on the website to see the documents,
she
they
said
it shows you everything
Dragnor
they
doesn't
presented.
like Steve,
So
so
I don't know
they're
if they presented
biased.
these videos.
Well, I think
but
that's
I would,
true. I think
suggest
everyone
if they
is
did,
biased
then
to
you
a
probably wouldn't
fashion.
have this problem, right? But it doesn't
You know,
seem-
everyone has an
That's what
opinion.
that's the assumption I was under, that if that, like, even
Katie
that
says-
I
piece
don't know
would
much about
probably be
Dragnor,
enough
but
to
I
grant
know
him
on Nate's
something, right?
video
Instead of
he
just
was
saying,
literally like,
"Present
yeah,
us something."
Steve deserves the money and he
exactly.
hopes that he
I think
screws
he needs to
Kyle
at
over.
That's the
So I
question.
don't
Give us
think
something
Nate
so we
is
can see what
biased
actually
in that
happened.
sense.
You
I
know,
think he's
again,
quite
they're just not
lawyerish in
taking your
that
word for
sense
it. You
of
gotta show
being
them
like,
something.
right is right,
I
wrong
have
is wrong
actually
kind of thing,
seen
you know?
recently. I'm not going to say who,
But
but there's somebody else
Leave
who has
opinions,
some legal
guys.
issues
We
in
can
the
talk about it
community.
after.
And
Katie
whoever
says,
was
"Joe, I
submitting
think you're
evidence
beautiful
against
and
him
gorgeous."
actually linked
Aw.
a YouTube link as
I've
evidence.
just literally got up and put
And
makeup
this
on
is-
for the
this-
first time
somebody was
in
pretending to be somebody else, but I digress.
months.
I don't
You
follow
can't
what
actually
Steve
submit
says. He
YouTube
has
links.
room for
And I thought that was
criticism, but
pretty
not
interesting
via
because if
people
you,
who
and
already
that's why I
hate
said
him.
earlier, it's like,
That's
what
fair.
what if he, like, some
That
type of
Leanne
screenshots, like there's
Moon.
email or something that Steve can forward to his lawyer, and that the lawyer can, I guess, attach in some photocopy in a document.
That is
Kyle
a
saying,
fair
hey,
statement.
To
we're
be
starting
honest
to make
though,
money.
like
Do you
Moon,
want me
I
to handle
criticised
the
him
book?
when I
Hey,
was friends with him.
I'm
You
gonna
heard the
take out
first
X
stream
amount
that
of
I
money
done.
for rent, because
I
that was the whole
criticised
thing,
what he
right?
said,
Because
then
if they're
went on
talking
his
about money,
live.
then that gives
And
credibility
the
to,
fact, what I
there
don't
being,
like so much, Moon, is that him
monetary
talking
gains
behind my
of the
back.
channel,
That
right?
kind
So
of
you can at
pissed
least
me